Emily Miller, chief investigative reporter from Fox 5, joins us right now. And Emily, the numbers are astounding.
Astounding, Larry. We have had 21 people shot in the last 6 days in D.C. It is really just 4 last night, 2, and within a half a block of each other. The police say it wasn't even connected to each other. They weren't even connected. 2 on one end of the block and 2 halfway down. Multiple shootings. Another night this week we had 7. I mean, this is D.C. crime.
And what are police telling you? I know that just in the few months that you've been with Fox 5, you've built up quite a few sources there in the department. Is this just random crime? Is it or random violence, I should say, and is it specific to certain regions of the city?
Well, obviously, I mean, D.C., most of the crime is in southeast and northeast, east of the Capitol. All these shootings were. None of them were in northwest. That's sort of standard. You rarely get shootings in Northwest, which is the wealthier part of the city. But this is, D.C. has a very high crime rate, and Chief Lanier does not want people to know that, and she will say crime's going down, but D.C. has an astronomically high crime rate for us compared to the rest of the country. It just does, and it's a variety of factors. But yeah, none of these things were connected. I mean, this is just all random shootings. They just all happen to be a lot this week, but this is not. Shootings themselves are not rare in D.C.
In most cities, most major cities, and Washington, D.C. is certainly a major city, with this kind of crime escalation that we've seen, the police chief is often sort of under fire, and you start hearing some major morale problems within the force, and they start grumbling and talking to reporters. Are you hearing anything about Chief Lanier?
Well, I wouldn't say it is in every city. I think the force in D.C. has extremely low morale that, compared to other major cities, not normal. I was just talking to Chris Bauman, who was the head of the police union for 8 years and is now an officer in 7D. 7D is the district where Anacostia is, where a lot of these shootings happen. I think 15 of the 21 happen in 7D. And he said to me that, Chief Lanier likes, this is today, he said Chief Lanier likes to say that crime is down and crime is good. He said we have an astronomically high crime rate in this city. He accounts it for 2 things. Mostly, one is that the the city council has this new contract where the police aren't making enough salary, that they're making less than some of their counterparts in these rural counties around us, and so people are leaving. And in fact, we're at a rate of 30 cops a month leaving the force, 200 since the beginning of the year. So resources are down. We have less cops on the street.
Hold on a minute. At a rate of 30 per month, and we've lost 200 D.C. cops this year alone?
Since January, yeah. So, I mean, just think of that many less people patrolling the street.
Yeah. Well, and frankly, I mean, if they go through a recruiting process to bring new cops in, which obviously they've got to do, but it means we've got a lot less experienced cops on the streets in this climate. Well, that's not a recipe for success.
Right. Well, the problem is recruiting, because, again, the city just passed this new contract with the union that the force does not like. I hear it from them every single day. I get stopped by police complaining about this legitimately, because this new deal did not give them the back pay they asked for, and their starting salary is equated to the rural counties around us, as opposed to like Chief Lanier's salary, which is $250,000 a year. That was determined by looking at other major cities. So recruiting is difficult. Recruiting quality people is difficult. And I'm telling you, Larry, I literally get stopped by cops telling me, I like my job, but I'm underpaid and overworked, and morale is so bad in this department, I'm leaving. I'm going to Fairfax County, or I'm going to Montgomery County. And a lot of these counties recruit right outside our courthouse. They just start coming up to D.C. police. It's true. They say it all the time. And just recruit. We'll pay you more. You have less crime. We have good morale. You'll like the chief. And so, but on this, I think what we've seen is crime wave just this week. Again, we do have a high crime rate in D.C., more than any other, higher than it should be for a major city. And it's not often discussed. We have less cops, but I also think that part of this is due to the fact that D.C. is the only place in the country that does not allow citizens to carry guns. And the bad guys know that. The bad guys know when they're walking down the street, like you have 21 this week, they know no one's shooting back. They know, except for the cops, that they can assault anyone, they can rape, they can rob, and you're not going to shoot back, because the good people in the city aren't carrying guns. And if there was some sort of deterrent where some small percentage of the population was carrying guns, then those guys who are just walking down the street shooting up the place would have some fear that they're not going to make it home that night.
But Emily Miller, whenever we raise this with city officials, they always say, well, we don't want Washington to be the wild, wild west where everybody's got a gun. So I'm sure through your reporting you've discovered that all of these shootings we've just experienced, those people who committed the shootings, they were lawful, law-abiding gun owners, right?
Exactly. But we're in a different situation now, Larry, because as you remember, about 3 Saturdays ago, I think it is now, a federal court ruled that D.C.'s ban on carry law is unconstitutional. And the city, for 2 days, everyone in the city was walking out with guns legally.
Yeah.
Law-abiding people. I might add that there were no shootings in that period.
No shootings in those.
Whatsoever.
All right.
For 3 days.
We got to leave it there, Emily Miller. Great stuff, though. It's always good to have you. Thanks for joining.